All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Scoops podcast. I am here with an old friend of mine, Payton. Say what's up, Payton.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Scoops podcast.
This is probably going to be your one and only podcast because you're terrible at talking basketball. So, first thing, want a small intro. You are a Thunder fan,
Yes,
OKC fan for a while. How
affirmative.
long?
Since they drafted Kevin Durant, and I don't want to get into that right now, but for a while. So was it 2007? No, nine.
I
Anyway,
think you're. Yeah, I think it was
yeah,
7.
I think it's '07. Yeah.
Um,
So since then,
a lot of
even when
ups
they
and
were in
downs with
Seattle.
Russ. Are you still a Russ guy?
Oh yeah, still a Russ man. I got to be a Russ guy. Too much energy.
Um, do you think your chances are better with Shea?
Um, with him as a lead guy, I mean, right now, I don't know because the future holds the cards for the Thunder because we have all those first round picks coming up. But I think I like Shea as a leader on the team. I don't want him to
Y'all
try to
can
do too
pick.
much.
You guys can pick an army around all those first round picks that you have.
Yeah, other teams might have the Hulk, but we do have the Army.
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was I recently put out an article about 3 players and unexpected good starts for them. Unexpected in the sense that they're not like super big well-known names to like have really good starts or to have really good games to start the season. But they did, and those 3 players were Christian Wood, Markel Fultz, and your very own Lou Dort.
Okay, so everybody, disclaimer: I started the Christian Wood Hive about 2 years ago. I want everybody to know this. Daniel knows how big of a Christian Wood fan I am. Top 10 big in the NBA. He can show you the screenshots of the text if he wants to, but he knows how I feel about Christian Wood. Super, I mean, just scoring machine, can score from anywhere on the floor at 6'11", even though he's a little thin. And yes, we all saw him get abused on the defensive side, but huge Christian Wood fan, off to a hot start in Houston. He's going to get a lot of usage. Just him and Harden and a bunch of other, I don't know, borderline G League players there. So definitely love Christian Wood this year. Yeah, David Nwaba is not it, Chief.
No, but a lot of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins fans are going to be coming after you.
I mean, Boogie's what, 32, coming off major Achilles injuries. I don't know. I mean, he's still massive, so and he
He's still
likes
usable. I'm not saying that he's like an all-star player, but people are going to
yeah.
say that he's important for that team.
Let's say Boogie loves some Boogie. He likes to get those stats, kind of like Russ, stat hunter, but Boogie's okay. I guess yeah, John Wall's pretty good. I don't want to discredit too much John Wall. We haven't seen him in a long time though, so who knows? He could be fresh, but I think he played well in the preseason. He looked good. He looked pretty healthy. Just COVID got him due to his teammates.
Which shall remain nameless.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put any names out there. I just want to say when people do good.
And then your boy Lou Dort.
All right. So Lou Dort last year I thought was just a wind sprinter, and I use that term as someone who just runs up and down the floor, plays defense on the opposing team's best scorer, and does very little on offense or rebounding, assist, anything. But Lou Dort, it looks like Mark Dagnall, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the Thunder's new head coach, he looks like he wants to get Lou Dort involved. The first few games he's played low 30s minutes, and he's putting up 6, 7 threes a game. And honestly, I don't think he's a great shooter yet, but he's improved from last year because I saw him go about 0 for 11 in a few games from 3. And this year, I've already seen him hit 50, 60% in a few games. So I kind of like Lou Dort. Pretty
Uh,
athletic young guy, too.
yeah, the first couple games, he had the game against the Jazz where he had 26 points and just shot like an amazing percentage. Then
Mm-hmm.
another couple games he had 15 points on okay shooting, not great, not terrible. But yeah, he got a lot of exposure in last year's playoffs, so I think they're really going to give him a chance there.
I agree. I think they really like him there. They're definitely trying to give him a shot to improve upon his offensive game.
Yeah. And then my last one was Markel Fultz.
Fultz, I mean, I like Fultz. He's decent. You kind of know what you're going to get from Fultz, I think, at this point. He's not going to develop into a great shooter. It's just I'm part of the camp that thinks you either are a great shooter or you're not. You can get better at it, but you're not going to turn someone who is scared to shoot a three-pointer to someone who's a 38% shooter. It's just not going to happen. But I like Fultz. He's decent. Good for the Magic. They like to run a lot of their stuff through Vucevic, and when Aaron Gordon gets healthy, I think probably he's the third piece to the offense. Markel Fultz is.
Yeah.
I can't
he's
forget about
had
Terrence Ross, the scoring machine. So maybe fourth
Terrence
piece,
Ross.
but with the starting unit, Markel Fultz probably number 3.
In the first couple games that they've had, he's had a double-double, 2 20-plus point games, and a steal in every single game that he's played.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, even in college, he was amazing defensively. He's always been a pretty good defender. He's athletic, but I mean, everyone in the NBA is pretty much athletic, but you have to want to defend. And he actually gets after it a little bit.
Yep. Agreed. So moving on to another topic, unless there was anything else you wanted to say about those players.
I like just emphasize Christian Wood. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Go with those.
We've gotten many texts so far. Top 10 big man in the NBA, Christian Wood.
Oh yeah.
Many
They'll
texts.
see. They will see.
All right, so gonna move on. Got a couple questions that I've seen and that I've thought of throughout this week that I wanted to ask you. First one being, if the Heat don't come out of the East this year like they did last year, does that automatically make last year a fluke performance, or is that a stretch / overreaction?
I'd say I'd lean about half and half. So I think while the Heat are a very good team out of the East, it depends who their matchup is. They just match up perfectly with the Bucks. So with Bam defending Giannis, and I mean Jimmy harassing everyone on the perimeter, no matter who he's guarding, I don't think it'd be considered a fluke if they don't come out, because I just don't think they're as good of a team as the Bucks are. I wouldn't say it's a fluke, but I mean, I don't think it'll happen again. Let's just put it that way. You know how I feel about the Bucks as well.
So you think the Heat will be a contender, but it's not like we're really expecting them to get to the East again?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think they're a contender, but they're definitely not the front runners.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them in the Eastern Conference Finals again, but I mean, Boston depends what they look like when Kemba gets back. Philly, we'll see, new head coach. Brooklyn, I mean, I don't know. Brooklyn looks all right in the first few games. The Slim Reaper looks. I mean, it's just. I would put them at like a 3 or 4 seed in the East if I had to just rank as of right now.
All right. Next and last question. If the Lakers took Jason Tatum over Lonzo Ball, what changes? I've seen and heard a lot of people on social media saying that what would change would be essentially nothing, that Jason Tatum would just be a part of that Pelican trade instead of Lonzo Ball to get Anthony Davis, and so the LeBron and AD can win the championship last year. That's what they think would be different.
That would still happen. That's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah, but I don't. I think that's. There's a lot of variables. Does Jason Tatum go off as much as he did if he's playing next to LeBron?
Probably not. Obviously, LeBron is that guy. He's the number one piece of any offense, no matter where you put him. But I think he'd still be really. I mean, with the Lakers, because they traditionally like to run at. I mean, one traditional big man and even a second bigger guy like they did last year with JaVale and AD or Dwight and AD a lot of the time. So I think Tatum would slide in, I guess, at the 4, so they would play a little more small ball, I guess, and they would spread out the floor more. I think there's plenty of room in an offense for LeBron and Tatum. I don't
Does
think he'd be
LeBron
spending
still end up
buckets.
going to the Lakers?
If there's not a chance to play with AD,
That's a big question. Does LeBron still end up in LA if they drafted Jason Tatum?
so they traded for LeBron, or they traded for Anthony Davis a year after LeBron was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had already been there a full year. So unless he knew a full year ahead of time, he kind of got a under the table handshake agreement from AD. Then I think anything's possible. But if he already knew him and Anthony talked and like, yes, I'm coming to LA next off season, my agent's going to make it happen. Then I don't know. He might get shipped out anyway. But no, I don't. That's a
It's
tough
tough.
one. It's a good
There's a lot of
question.
different opinions. There's a lot of different variables that would go into whether he's still traded off. Like, what do the Lakers think? Do the Lakers want to give up Jason Tatum, who would most likely ball out next to LeBron or not? He'd still show his worth. Like he'd be playing really well. So would they want to try and roll with him and LeBron? Would they want to try and still make that trade, which would probably still be a viable trade, but yeah, it's tough.
I
There's a
don't
lot
know.
of different opinions that would go into whether that would happen or not. What does LeBron think? What do the Lakers think? What do the Pelicans think? What does Anthony Davis think? Like, there's a lot going on there.
I think the biggest part would be on the Lakers because Tatum at that point in his career already had showed a lot more than Lonzo had showed about his potential and what he's able to do. So if I'm the Lakers, I don't know if I trade Tatum and Ingram, trade both of them, and now they both look like, I know it's hindsight's 2020, but
Maybe you get to keep
I don't
Ingram at
know.
that point. Maybe you get
Okay,
to keep
then
Ingram. Maybe you get to keep Ingram and instead trade away Kyle Kuzma.
that's a deal then. Lakers got to do that. But yeah, that's you trade Tatum.
The
So
trade package may
Tatum,
be different.
Hart, yeah, yeah. I don't think you can compare it. Or I mean, you could always say, what could have happened, but something like that. That's franchise-altering decision for sure.
Very much so. But the Lakers are all about the championship now and worry about the rest later if that means that we're pretty much going to secure the championship now. Because we're coming to, if LeBron and AD are on the team, if that trade happens, pretty much saying they're still going to win the championship last year.
Can I throw a disclaimer out there?
Mm.
I don't think the Lakers win it if they don't have a 5-month layoff in between, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Really?
Yep.
Who wins? Before the COVID happened and everything closed down, the Lakers had just beat both the Heat and not the Heat, excuse me, beat both the Bucks and the Clippers within a couple days of each other.
I still think the Lakers would have been up there, but the layoff with a bunch of older veterans makes it so much more in their favor versus teams that are playing younger guys that aren't as tired and don't need their, one day off on a back-to-back. I don't know. I think that's too many games over a short period of time they still could have won it. I'm not saying for sure they wouldn't, but I don't think they would have. But again, you could talk about that with a lot of teams. So props to the Lakers.
So real quick, so the final question: you're the Lakers, and the Pelicans are willing to give you Anthony Davis. You have Tatum and you have LeBron. You basically just have that Lakers squad, but you drafted Alonzo instead. Do you make that trade for Anthony Davis if it means getting rid of Tatum and Ingram? And who knows, maybe you keep Hart, maybe you don't, but the big points being Ingram and Tatum and whatever else thrown in there for Anthony Davis. If I'm the Lakers, I still do it.
If I'm the Lakers, so if I'm Genie Bus, no. I can't trade Ingram and Tatum away. I
Here's
can't
here's
do
here's
it.
here's the argument for that. If you don't do it, you keep Tatum, right? You have LeBron, you
Hmm.
have Tatum. Maybe you can get some other top 25, 30 player out there, someone. But you don't have a lot of years of LeBron left.
Right.
He's LeBron. He's going to be playing well for who knows how much longer, but he's going to decline at some point, or he's going to retire at some point. Um, so it's safe to say that LeBron won't be playing with Tatum when Tatum gets to his prime. Um,
I
and
mean, is Tatum to his prime? I mean, he's pretty
okay,
close to it.
prime years. Tatum is what, 22? Prime years is usually like
Like
26,
26,
27.
30. Yeah.
So not prime, but prime years is what I was getting
Okay.
to.
I mean,
Um,
he's grown so much as a player just in 3 years, though. Like, he
he
looks
definitely
really good
has.
now.
So if you're not going to get them together at the same point that you want them, is it you're trying to win the championship, and who's to say that Jason Tatum will even stick around in LA? I mean, he always wanted to play for LA, so I think the chance of him sticking around are pretty good. If we would keep him, obviously, and we'd offer him whatever he wanted, because Jason Tatum would be worth it.
Right.
But there's no guarantee that he would stay. Um, so there's no guarantee that keeping him would guarantee us a championship at some point in the future. But Anthony Davis coming pretty much makes us one of the top three teams in basketball next to LeBron now, where we could win a chip, maybe even two, and walk away
Not
with that
two,
with
not
not
three,
three,
not
not
four,
four,
not
but
five.
walk away with a championship plus maybe. I'm doing it. I'm making that trade.
I mean, to me, like, I know you said they're going for it now, and Tatum might not be in his prime years when, I mean, if once he gets to his prime years, LeBron's, I mean, probably retired. So, but I don't know if I can trade away two guys that I know are as not
That are going to be
just
the future of the NBA.
not just like projected to be, but already showing signs of really, really good young players. Like, both could have been most improved player of the year, honestly. And you're going to trade. So, all right, let's say you keep those two, you don't trade Tatum away for AD, and then LeBron retires, but now you have Ingram and Tatum. Why don't you just build around them? And then you have a whole future.
But the point of getting LeBron in the first place was to win now.
Ring, right, to win the rings. I understand that, and fans like it. Oh, my team's going for it, but I'm never a fan of mortgaging the future for the present. That's
But
just
that's the
my
here's the thing
strategy.
about that. Lonzo was on the team for a year before LeBron came, right? Was it one or two?
I think just one.
Well,
We just signed
however long
LeBron
it
in
was, he had
18.
time that there was time between when Lonzo was drafted and when LeBron came to the team. So
Right.
you would have seen Tatum at that point progress and play really well. Um, so if you're the Lakers and if you're LeBron, you're thinking, all right, if I sign with this team, maybe they don't go after Anthony Davis, and I need to win now. That's what LeBron's thinking. LeBron doesn't think I need to get to LA. LeBron's thinking I need another ring. And
Right.
so he was thinking that would be LA. I get to LA, they trade these young guys for someone that I need. Boom, we're in championship contention. But LeBron wouldn't go if I don't think LeBron would go if he was thinking, they may keep this Tatum kid.
I mean, you could be right. We just don't know if him and Anthony Davis already had a little deal in place where somehow, some way, AD was going to make his way to Los Angeles. If they did, then I mean, if you can guarantee someone a ring, like, hey, if we make this move, we get a ring. I mean, it'd almost be foolish not to do it. But is one or maybe two championships worth it as a
Yes.
franchise for
Yes.
possibly 7 years of very large championship windows? I mean, I don't know. That's just me personally, my style. I hate mortgaging the future for the present. I just can't do it.
If it's not right next to a guarantee, I agree with you. But this is right next to a guarantee. Like if you're telling me, oh, you're trading for like Russell Westbrook or someone like that, I'd be like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
go
no
screw
thanks.
yourself. I'm keeping Jason Tatum. But it's Anthony Davis with LeBron James. That's while LeBron James is older, still a couple years of a pretty big championship window for sure
Oh,
with
for
those
sure.
two
Yeah,
guys. So
he ages like fine wine. I'm pretty sure he just injects that into his veins after the game. Give him a nice
I
red wine, IV
I,
going. I'm pretty sure that's
I
what
think
LeBron does.
it would be a tough, if an impossible decision. Whichever way you go, you have a high chance of just have made the wrong decision.
So to put that into like a Thunder's fan perspective, you tell me right now we trade 6 of our 80 million first round picks over the next 5 years, and you tell me that guarantees us a championship within the next 3 years, 4 years, I'd say yes, do it. But that's because the Thunder they're at a stage where they're so underdeveloped personnel wise. The Lakers, if they have that Tatum and that Ingram and LeBron's there, so let's say LeBron signs there even without the handshake agreement with AD that he's coming. I think that team wins the championship. I really do.
Russell Westbrook, your boy, Bradley Beal, and all the Wizards having a rough start to the season. They played the Chicago Bulls in one of their opening games, and in that game, 7 out of 10 Bulls were in double digit scoring, and that's tough. Uh, what do you think about Westbrook and the Wizards? Do you think it's going to be another failed experiment for Russ?
Okay, so you know that I love Russ. I know he's not the best player or even the best teammate, but I love Russ. He's a stat hunter. He's gonna get his. I know that, but he does bring something to the table where he can be the veteran leader. I think on a team. I don't know if his heart's in it really in Washington. I mean, I'm not sitting here questioning someone's want to play, but I just doesn't seem like he's in. I've watched a few of their first games and he seems pretty unhappy with what's around him, even with Bradley Beal at times, because Russ wants the ball in his hands. We know that, and Bradley Beal's a high usage guy. Also, I I don't think that team will win more than 35 games tops. Was what I put their limit at. I don't see it. And yeah, their defense. You mentioned the Bulls, 7 guys in double digit figures. I think the Bulls are probably the worst team in the NBA. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
7 out of 10 active players, so more than half of their team was in double digit scoring for the ones that were playing that day.
And they've got some guys who can fill it up with Kobe White and Levine, but I think the Bulls are the worst team. I know that they beat the Wizards, but if you they play that game 10 times, I say the Wizards win 6 or 7.
Of the Wizards roster, the main guys that you're looking at is Bradley Beal, who is averaging 32 points on 37% shooting from the field. Russell Westbrook, who is averaging a triple double, 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists on 41% shooting from the field. And then you look at Denny, their newest acquisition from the draft. He is averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 52% from the field. And then your starting center, Thomas Bryant, is averaging 14 and 5 on 54% from the field. And I was going to ask, I mean, Thomas Bryant, yeah, 14 points, 14 and 5, that's not awful, but I think you need a better big man than Thomas Bryant if you're trying to win a considerable amount of basketball games.
Agreed. So I think Thomas Bryant is good offensively. He can get his own shot too. He doesn't need someone to create for him. He can hit the three. Big body. He's decent on offense, but on defense, I don't know. It just looks like he's lost out there. I don't know if it's just the new coaches and everything and all the new players around him and they're still trying to gel on defense as a team, but he looks lost. I mean, he's jumping at pump fakes left and right too. So I don't know. I think someone hit him with the Rondo fake the other day, and he thought the ball went through the ceiling or something. He had no clue where it went. But no, I think they definitely need a better big. Rui, is injured, but I think Rui's a good player. He's a solid player, but again, not a great defender. So it seems to me like they've got a lot of very capable offensive players, but not too much in the way of defense. How you feel about their defense?
What wins championships, Payton?
Offense.
No,
Offense wins
you're
championships.
incorrect on that. Defense wins
Offense beats good
championships.
defense.
Defense wins championships. I'll say it louder into the mic.
I'm here to change that saying because that's all it is. It's a saying. It's a myth. You can't do myths. Good offense beats good defense every day of the week in basketball. You still need both, but good offense.
I would rather take the good offensive team that's great on defense than the good defensive team that's great on offense.
Okay, I want to take the other side of that coin, and then we'll have them play a simulated match, and we'll see who wins.
Okay, cool. But yeah, for the Wizards, just felt like there was a lot of hype to that Westbrook trade, like, oh, Westbrook and Beal, but it's been a rough start for them. I mean, not necessarily for Beal and Russ, like you look at their stats, but just for the Wizards organization, they've been an organization that's been kind of down in the dumps for a good while now. And it's funny. I remember before Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, there was talk about him going to the Wizards because he's from DC.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe if you imagine if you went to DC, but how maybe it'd be different in some way. But I mean, that's a different topic for another day. So yeah, wishing the Warriors, excuse me, wishing the Wizards some peace, because I know they're going through some turmoil right now. With Bradley Beal apparently always talks to the media, but he didn't even want to like speak to anyone after their last loss. And yeah, it's just
that would suck to be a fan of a team that has that much potential. And I mean, really, a few years ago, John Wall was a superstar. Like, he was top level. Have two guards of that caliber, and nothing comes from it. And then injuries occur, and then one of them basically forced his way out because he just doesn't want to be there anymore. That's got to be tough. I hope the Wizards can pull something together. And I think Denny is going to be good. And I'm a big steal of the draft.
You are a big Denny fan. You are a big Denny fan.
He's a good rebounder. I don't want to start player comparisons, but a version of Luka Doncic. Not skilled, as skilled as him. He is a good shooter though. Denny's a good shooter. Was he 6'8"?
I've heard that too. I've heard that comparison.
He can handle. Obviously, the caliber is not there, but I mean, there's levels to this shit, as they say. But no, I think Denny's going to be a good player. I do. Hopefully, him and Brad Beal get something together. Maybe Rui can step in there and play some high post for him. Maybe get some backdoor cuts. I don't know.
No.
They need to get some defenders though. They have to.
So the last thing we're going to do is a speed draft, and I'm going to go over the rules real quick on how we're going to do that. Our player pool is going to be ESPN's top 100 list. They drop the top 100 players every year, and we are going to use the numbers 50 to 100 players on that list as our player pool. We're going to have 30 seconds a pick, so that's how it's going to be. That's why it's going to be speed. It's going to be fast, and we're going to draft 8 players per team. So our starting 5 and then 3 bench players. Then at the end, we'll debate why our team is better, and then we'll go off of that. You ready?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Are intangibles counted?
Elaborate.
Like, so, for example, people that do not like each other or do not play well with current teammates, or are we just picking talent? Okay, so like if you were to play like a Russ and KD situation, like where they hate each other. Obviously, there's no one on this list that hates each other, but like they're just stat hunters? Are we just talking talent alone? Or are we trying to like this guy fits in well with this team?
Yeah, fit will play.
Fit and play. Okay.
Fit will play.
So we're talking
And
intangibles.
we flipped a coin and I get the first overall pick. So we'll try and keep each other honest. So when it's my turn to pick, kind of start counting slowly in your head, 1, 2, 3, and let me know when I'm getting close, and I'll do the same for you. So starting now, my first pick, I don't even got to think about it. Give me the player of the week, Domantas Sabonis.
All right, that was going to be my first pick.
Now here you go. You're on
Very
the clock.
good player. He can do it all.
That he can.
So I'm gonna go Ayton then. I like Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton. Interesting. All right. With my next pick, give me. Crap, this is hard. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm just going with my gut here. Buddy Hield.
Yeah, okay, good shooter. Sabonis can get him involved. So I'm going, and this is for projecting for the future or right now?
Right now, you're trying to win. You're trying to beat this team that I have right now.
Okay. I got to do it. I got to go Christian Wood.
Your boy. Him. What, starting 4?
We're gonna wait and see how the roster fits together, but I know I want him on my team. We'll figure out a way to get him involved, but he will be on the squad.
I am going to take Mr. Levine.
Okay, good player. Good player. You got some shooters out here, huh? So no, I don't want. We'll go. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go ahead and go Dragic.
Goran Dragic.
Going Goran, not Zoran.
Interesting. Very interesting. Dang, there's a lot of players on this team that you can pick, man. It's tough. So many options. Your boy TJ Warren's on there. What, you're not going to grab him?
Hey, just pick your players and then let me worry about my team, all right?
All right. Dang it. I'm looking at these picks and I'm like, man, I should have got that guy.
Sabonis is a beast. I think he's by far the best player on this list. I think he is way too low. He's easily top 50. Not even close.
Way too low. Bing dang ow. I agree.
Way too low. Something wrong.
I am going to pick. I'm going to pick Serge Ibaka as my starting center.
Okay. I like Serge.
I feel like I need someone that can protect the rim and at the same time spread the floor.
He can hit. He's got the 18-footers on lock, too. Knockdown shooter for big. So I think this makes it easy for me. We're going Michael Porter Jr. at the starting 4.
It's a good pickup for sure. All right. I need me a point guard. I need myself a point guard.
Point guard.
Ooh, I got some potentials here. I'm going to go with someone that most people might kind of be looking over. I was thinking D'Lo first, but I want defense on this team, so I'm going to go with DeJounte Murray.
Okay. I like Deontay.
Me too. I think he's slept on at times.
He is a good young player, but this is right now. This is current team.
That might come back and bite me in the butt. So.
Okay. So now I would like to take TJ Warren, please.
There you go. That's a great pick.
I thought you were going to try to steal MPJ off the list, so I had to try to get him first before I went TJ. Oh, he's our starting three, by the way. I don't think that needs to be said, but he is my starting three.
Well, I currently don't have a starting three. What I am going to pick is my backup big man in Mr. Blake Griffin. Can give you a little everything at the big.
Yeah, apparently he's decided he's a 3-point shooter now.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think it's pretty easy. Tobias, he's coming off the bench, but he could probably be my sixth man. Yeah, I'll say Tobias is sixth man. Good scorer, can score from every level too. He can get in the post if he needs to. Pretty good defender as well. Not great, but he's adequate.
It's a good pick. Dang, man, this is tough. All right. At the three, my starting three, I know he usually plays the four, but I'm confident that he could play the three if I needed him to. I'm going with Robert Covington.
I knew that was coming. That's a good pick.
Yep, I need some defense out there.
All right, so I need to go defense as well, but we still want someone who can shoot it. Another versatile defender. I'm trying to think. So I've got Ayton at the 5. I could play MPJ at the 4, Warren at the 3. Christian Wood's got to come off the bench. He just doesn't play enough defense for me. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's go OG. I guess starting at the 2. I'm almost getting too big, but we can play a zone if we need to.
All right. And my last pick, I think it'd just be smart for me to go with what I consider to be the best shooter on this list in Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, knock down. So I've got, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I think I might have to change OG to come off the bench because we can't. We're just a little slow. MPJ, TJ Warren, we don't have a lot of defenders. So we're going to slide OG to the bench. And I don't really like this guy's game, but he fits in well with this team, and that's Eric Bledsoe at the 2. He is a good defender. I'll give him that. Not a huge fan of his offensive, well, not a fan at all of his offensive game, but he's a good defender, and that's what we need right now. So sometimes the fit matters more than the player itself.
So that was your final pick, right?
That's it.
So tell me your starting 5.
So we're Dragic at the 1, Bledsoe at the 2. I guess TJ Warren at the 3, MPJ at the 4, and Ayton at the 5. And off the bench, we have OG. Well, Christian Wood's a 6-man because he's just, top 10 big already.
Top 10 big, and he's not your starting big man?
Well, see, it's about fit now. It's not just about the caliber. If it's just about the caliber of player, D'Angelo Russell would have gone, and no way in hell I'm picking Eric Bledsoe. But no, Christian Wood. He does get abused on defense at times, but this man gets buckets.
Okay, so Wood, and who were your last 2?
So I have Wood. Would you get OG?
Mm-hmm.
And you got him, Dragic. You got TJ Warren. You got Bledsoe, OG. I'm Confucius.
What?
I thought that was my 8. I had MPJ, Ayton, Christian Wood. Oh, Tobias.
Yep, Tobias.
Losing my mind.
All right, and so my starting 5 is DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, Robert Covington, Domantas Sabonis, and Serge Ibaka, with Hield as my 6th man. Then you got Blake Griffin as a backup big, and Duncan Robinson as a shooter to put out there.
Okay, name your starting 5 again. Let me just hear that back one more time.
DeJounte Murray.
Got it.
Zach LaVine.
Okay.
Robert Covington, Sabonis, and Ibaka.
Okay, so besides Levine creating, obviously Sabonis can pass and with the backdoor cuts, he's just a great player. He was by far the best player on this list, but I mean, who's going to create for you on offense? I have your
I
starting
have
five.
Heald coming off. Oh well, I have Heald coming off the bench if I need more offense. I got Blake Griffin coming off the bench if I need more offense. But the starting
Mm,
five ball is going to be in Zach LaVine's hands a
that's
lot.
fair.
I mean, he's used to it at this point, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's going to get his shots too. He's not
I
shy
wanted to
about it.
make sure. I wanted to make sure that I got a good amount of spot up guys, a good amount of defenders, and spread it out, get some bigs, get some guards. All right. So go ahead. Tell everyone why your team is the better team.
So as my philosophy that was heard earlier, good offense beats good defense. Now you need both, but that's why I went more on the offensive side of the ball. So starting at the one, Dragic is just a great creator on offense, as we see with the Heat now, and with their second unit, the ball's in his hands a lot. He makes plays. He gets his own shot, gets others involved. He's just a great offensive player. Not the best defender, but we can live with it. That's why at the two, we get Eric Bledsoe. So Bledsoe guards the other team's best guard, and Dragic plays the off-ball guard. Hopefully, take a little bit of a rest on defense, like LeBron does sometimes. Let the other guys guard the best player. You worry about offense, Dragic. At the three, TJ Warren can get his own shot whenever he wants, but can also be a good spot up shooter with Dragic finding him. Again, not the best defender, but we can live with it. And at the four, MPJ, great offensive player. I think he's severely underrated on offense. I know he's still young, but this man can shoot it lights out. He can get to the basket. What is he, 6'10"?
Yeah,
6'9"?
6'10". 6'10".
6'10"? Okay. So he's not the strongest individual, but he can play a little bit of post up and he can actually get others involved. And at the five, if the shot clock's winding down and your guys have somehow stopped us in the whole possession, we just throw it into Ayton. I mean, what else do we need to do? That seems like a pretty easy strategy. And on defense, obviously we're not the best, but on offense, I think my guys can get a bucket against your guys. Off the bench, Tobias, another good shooter, as you can see, is a theme for both of our teams. We like good spacing on the floor, good shooters.
Yep.
Ayton can even step out and hit the three. Uh, Bledsoe, no, yeah, I mean, I like this team. Obviously, we were kind of prohibited to the bottom 50 of the 50 to 100 players in the NBA per ESPN, but I like this team. I could play with it.
My team's a playoff team. I'm calling that. I think
What?
my team can make the playoffs. I think.
Daniel, I don't know if
All right, hold on,
Deontay
hold on. All
Murray.
right, it's my turn to explain my team. All right. So I got defense everywhere. You got Murray, you got Covington, you got Ibaka. These guys can defend. Um, you got some shot creators in Levine and Heald, and Blake Griffin can get his own shot. We got guys that can do that. We got Sabonis, who's the best player. He was the best player on this list.
Agreed.
Ibaka defending at the rim. Duncan Robinson, we got the best shooter on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Covington will be guarding either TJ Warren or MPJ, whoever's feeling it that night. DeJounte Murray would probably be guarding Dragic or Bledsoe, same thing, whoever's really feeling it that night.
Barbecue
And then,
chicken.
and then put Levine on the other one and Sabonis on the other one if you need to, and then Ibaka on Ayton. And then, yeah, you got Heald coming off the bench. He's going to be able to create really well. Blake Griffin, if we need more creating as well, and Duncan Robinson. I think it's I have a good balance of defense and offense on my team.
I would disagree on a few of those points. Honestly, I think Blake Griffin and Buddy Hield, honestly, at this point in his career, Blake Griffin is almost strictly a three-point shooter, at least from what I've seen in the preseason and this young NBA season so far. This man's shooting like 8 threes a game. I think he's shooting like 70% of his shots are coming from outside the paint. So Blake is more of a shooter. Buddy Hield, again, just a spot up shooter. He doesn't do a whole lot of creating on his own. He can, he's able to, but that's not his specialty.
But I mean,
I
that's the
just
thing. He can. You know, like
he's able to.
this team wouldn't call on Heel to be like the Zach LaVine of the team.
Right.
He's gonna create every once in a while, but guys like LaVine and Sabonis and even Murray are gonna be the ones that are initiating offense.
And I like Murray too. He's a good player, but again, he's not a very good shooter. But Levine can shoot it lights out, but defense is a problem. I don't
End of the
know.
game, if I need, you know, the best spacing possible, you're throwing in Heald and or Duncan Robinson in there with Levine, and then maybe Covington and Ibaka or Covington and Sabonis, something like that. That's a lot of
So
space right
so
there.
Sabonis is coming out of the game for your crucial offensive possession.
No. Okay, I retract that. I would have Sabonis
Hmm.
at the 5 if I absolutely needed to. If I wanted to keep Covington in there.
So if I'm you in that situation, Sabonis, the ball's in Sabonis's hands, and he's making the play, high post Jokic style. Sabonis is a great passer, but for me, I mean, it's pick and roll with Dragic and Ayton. I feel like Ayton is able to shoot. He can pick and pop if he needs to, and he's also massive, so he can roll, and he's got the height advantage over Serge, albeit by just a few inches. I think the Dragic to Ayton pick and roll with MPJ spotting up okay, in the final 3 minutes, Bledsoe in a close game, Bledsoe's off the floor. We're going strictly offense, small ball. Bledsoe's off the 4, Christian Wood at the 4, Ayton at the 5, MPJ at the 3, TJ Warren at the 2, and Dragic at the 1. Everyone can shoot on that 5.
For me, Levine and Sabonis are going pick and roll. Good luck. Good night and good luck.
That's tough also. See, you got first pick, so I didn't have that luxury of just taking the best player on this list. But I like your team.
That's
I
an
like my
excuse.
team as
Sounds like
well.
an excuse.
We might play a little zone. We're so damn big, Daniel. We might just get Syracuse on everyone, play a little 2-3.
I'll make sure to throw this. I'm gonna throw this up on social media and have people vote and see and pick who they think would win, and if they
So
think
when
any of the
you
teams
have
would make the
Christian Wood,
playoffs.
make sure you put in parentheses top 10 big next to him.
Top
Just
10
make sure
big.
you do
Got
that
it.
for me. Yeah.
That'll be like his nickname now. It'll be Christian Top 10 Big Wood.
Pause, but yeah.
Sorry, my bad. All right. So yeah, I mean, looking back on it now, there's like I could have gotten that guy, could have gotten that guy, but I'm pretty happy with my team.
I am as well. I like my team. Without picking from the superstars of the NBA, you could definitely make a competitive team out of these guys for sure.
Yep. All right, so I believe that comes to the conclusion of our podcast. I want to thank Payton one more time for joining me.
Thank you, Daniel, for
It's
having me
always
on.
fun. Yeah, it's always fun talking basketball with you.
This is just like translating our text, but in the video format. I like it.
Pretty much. This is pretty much what we talk about all day. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to Scoops and News podcast, and we'll see you later.
All right. Peace, everyone. Be safe. Later, Daniel.